Words that come to my mind when I hear you talking is as attunement and alignment. You know,
Balancing.
and there's so much of that. And I love that, you know, once you become aware and you start developing a practice of, you know, consciously giving attention to, okay, this is the new moon. I'm going to plant the seeds.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
That's exactly the time.
And then, okay, now we're in action phase. Let's, you know, light that fire underneath our butts and get going. Hi, y'all. It's Elan, and I'm doing a podcast. Ta-da-da-da! And my first guest is Tracy of Crystals by the Sea. I met Tracy, oh gosh, it was almost a year ago. It was a year ago at the bodybuilding competition that my trainer at the time, Cheyenne, was doing. And, you know, she has these amazing, wonderful, beautiful crowns. She does all sorts of stuff with crystals. So she's going to tell us all about this. But, you know, we were both thinking about each other at the winter solstice. I've been trying to align myself with the seasons and with the cycles of the moon more powerfully. And she popped into my head on winter solstice, and I thought I should give her a call. So I did. And we got to talking, and it's like we're like right at the same place, you know, as far as setting intentions for the new year. So we thought we'd get together and have a nice conversation, and here we are. So
Hi, Elan. Hi, everyone. It's very nice to be here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm excited. 2025 is going to be a great year. I have a program that I'm starting where we're doing one theme a month, and January is for intention setting, and not only intention setting, but also how do you use crystals and the cycles of the moon to keep your intentions going throughout the year. So it'll be very exciting because we're gonna take it slowly, work with the moon cycles and the crystal energy, understand how crystals impact our energy field.
You know, it's so funny because I think what you said is accurate. You know, setting an intention is one thing, but taking the daily consistent action, tuning in, staying vigilant, you know, like staying on top of it. Being mindful, you know.
Yes.
So much of the time we are either in the past or we're in the future, and we don't always take the time to tune in
And be present.
to the present moment.
Right.
And have the gift of the present moment.
Right. Right.
You know, and having little rituals. Like I set up my little coffee station. That's my little ritual. It helps. It tunes me in to the season. So so for Halloween, I had one little setup, and now I've got Christmas, and it's got another little setup. But just those little things tune me in to the holiday, and you know, tune me into the seasonal feeling, and it really has brought a new dimension to my life. And I've been, you know, I had made an intention to start doing a morning ritual and an evening ritual to kind of like book in my day.
That's very nice to do that. And I've been doing that since 2012.
Wow.
Not every single day, but most days I do check in every morning and every evening. Yeah.
You know, and having...
Yeah, there's a story behind that, which we'll cover one of these days.
I love that. So I know that, like, you know, crystals can be kind of like a talisman, or they
Yes.
You know, they can be a helpmate. You know, you can set intentions, and you can program your crystals with intention, right?
Yes, I have.
Some of this stuff is coming back to me.
I have intentions set in my crystals here. This bracelet is rhodochrosite, and this one is to remind me to practice self-love, because so often, you know, we say we are kind to ourselves, and even after years of practicing kindness towards myself, there are still times when I find my mind is saying very harsh words to myself, and I have to stop myself and catch it and change the script in my mind
Yeah.
and be forgiving and being loving to myself and giving myself space and grace to be in the place that I'm in. So that's how you grow.
I think that our minds, our subconscious minds, have so much more in common with like computers than we, it's like garbage in, garbage out, right? It's like,
And you have triggers. So you can have an emotion that comes up that triggers a thought, or a thought that triggers an emotion, and they play off of each other. And those are the past and the future. That's not the present. So the job of the ego is to keep you out of the present, to keep you in either the past or the future. So it sidetracks you.
Right.
So crystals help with that, because it's, some people take a rubber band and snap a rubber band to remind themselves. I prefer wearing crystal bracelets and programming them.
Oh, that's
and
great.
this one is Amazonite. And this one is programmed to remind me that I'm a teacher. I'm a healer and a teacher.
That's wonderful. I think I need some of those myself.
They're lovely. I've had these for years.
It's so funny that reminds me, one of the things that I've done in my past lives here on the planet Earth this time around is that I used to do astrology. I used to be an astrologer, so I kind of stopped doing that too, but that's coming back around.
So the next the next new moon will be on December 30th, and that energy runs through to January 1st. So we're going to tap into the energy of the new moon, which is for intention setting and creativity, really taking time to think about what it is that you want to bring into 2025.
Right.
And I think the world is, how they talk about moving from 3D to 4D to 5D, and everyone's shifting so fast, and things are moving. Things are moving very quickly, I find, in my life anyway. Time seems like it's going by really fast. So to really hone in on what it is that you're intending to bring into your reality is super important, because otherwise the universe is humorous. That if you can, I said in August I'm going to have a new kitchen by December, and I've been talking about remodeling my house for 4 years now, since we moved down to Florida. And so Hurricane Milton came and dumped sewer water all over my house. I wasn't very specific.
Bad news, good news, right?
Bad news, good news, right. I would have preferred to win the lottery and go on vacation for 3 months and come back and have a beautiful new home, but that's not what happened. I'm not surprised. My house was the only one on the block that had full flooding from sewer water.
Goodness.
And my neighbors had a little bit here and there. And I think to myself, why? How did that happen? But I've been calling that in for years. So, and then in August, I distinctly remember saying, by December, I'm going to have a new kitchen. And I will have a new kitchen by the end of December.
That's what I think is so powerful. Like when you set an intention and you let go of how you think it's supposed to happen, because the universe works its own magic. I mean, God sends us things in his own way, and we never know how it's going to happen. But then you look back and you go, "Hey, wait a minute,"
I called that
I didn't know that was where it was going to go, but that's where it went,
Right. So in 2025, there's going to be more focus on the specifics of what I'm going to be calling in for me personally. And walking through each week and each phase of the moon and incorporating crystals and just having different layers to tap into, I think is a really great way to show people how to work with intention setting with a very, purposeful mindset, being very aware, being in the present, and really, looking at what does that mean to do that? What are the rituals, to help you do that, right? So we'll go through that.
Oh, wonderful!
Yeah. So
we could do a little. We could do a little ritual.
We can do a little ritual right now. I have some sage. I brought some sage along with me, so we can light some sage, and we'll cleanse some crystals. I brought you a package.
Now these are little packets that you've put together of crystals that harmonize with each other.
So these are the crystals that we'll be using for the month of January. So we have a labradorite crystal. That's the first crystal.
Okay.
Labradorite. And so labradorite goes along with the new moon. This is the one that helps you set your intentions. It's on picture looking, the new moon is dark. So it's kind of like looking into the void, the unknown. It's in line with the feminine side. So it's full of creativity. What are you going to bring in from that new moon energy?
Right.
And then we move to carnelian, and we move to the first quarter. So the new moon is going to be, energy will be on January 1st. The new moon is actually December 30th, but the energy will stay through the 1st of January.
Okay.
And then on January 6th is the first quarter. And the first quarter is all about taking action. So we want to incorporate carnelian because carnelian is like the caffeine of the crystals. It's the one that it's the one that lights the fire and it brings energy. And so it's what you need. So when you're in that first quarter phase, you want to just carry this with you and set your intention as a reminder of what it is that you're calling in. Right. And then following that, on January 13th, there'll be a full moon. And the full moon is a time for reflection and reassessing and releasing. Reflection and releasing. So full moon is reflection and releasing. And we're using selenite crystal for that. So selenite crystal, the name selenite comes from the goddess Selene, which is named after the full moon.
Oh, wow.
And it carries that beautiful light energy. We also have a beautiful selenite tower back here. And I also brought two selenite bars. So I really like the selenite bars because these you can put at your front door, and it will grab the negative energy as people walk through.
Oh, wow.
You could also use this to go around your auric field. You could lay it down flat on your chest, like when you're watching TV, and it has a feeling of lifting you up. So if you can, when you get to the part of being able to tap into the energy of what the crystals bring, and I'll bring some other crystals at another time, and we'll talk about, and I'll show you the differences in the way that they affect the body. But like on a molecular level, this crystal to me feels like it's doing this to me.
It's uplifting you.
It's lifting me up. Yeah. And there's other crystals like hematite that when you hold them,
Ground you.
They pull you down. They're so heavy. It's like a tree trunk. It's just a solid, and it just pulls your cells down.
Words that come to my mind when I hear you talking is attunement and alignment.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
balancing.
and there's so much of that. And I love that, once you become aware and you start developing a practice of, consciously giving attention to, okay, this is the new moon. I'm going to plant the seeds.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly the time.
Then, okay, now we're in action phase. Let's, light that fire underneath our butts and get going.
Right. And you want to remember in the action phase, not to step on the newly, you have to give time for seeds to sprout. Right. So depending upon what you're trying to call in, it might take 2 days, it might take 6 weeks, it might take 4 years. If you're calling in a partner, it might take a little bit of time. Right. You have to really let it go. Right. So you have to just not step on those seedlings. Right when they're coming in, you don't want to squish them. You want to hold on to the hope and hold on to that intention that it's coming to you.
That's
wonderful. And you walk with the intention that you have it already. So that's a big piece of it too. Is the mindset of feeling, going into, like we were talking before, going into meditation and visualizing yourself where you want to be or what you want to see. So I'm dealing with Hurricane Milton, the aftermath. We're remodeling the house. Right. It's a long process. So when I go to sleep at night, I visualize walking into my new master bathroom.
Oh, I love that.
I visualize what would the tile feel like under my feet. What does the cabinet look like? What does the sink look like? How does everything function? What does the lighting look like? So there's so much that's going on in my mind. I'm getting very detailed with it.
Yeah,
because I really want to provide a spa-like sanctuary for myself. Having a soaking tub,
Oh, I love it.
I'm looking to get
Every
infrared
night.
lighting in the shower.
Every night I have my Epsom salt baths, and I add my
Oils.
yes,
Essential
my
oils.
essential
Yes,
oils.
yes.
So I have my bath with my Epsom salts and my essential oils and my candles.
beautiful.
And now I'm going to have my
Crystals.
newly charged crystals around my bath. But
Yes, that's
but that
wonderful.
is how I check in with myself and how I nurture myself. And it awareness, intention, and like really focusing your mind and bringing in as many sensory
Correct.
things as you can makes it that much stronger.
Yeah, that's called layering.
Layering.
So the candles, the crystals, the herbs, the oils, just being in water. So water's programmable.
Yeah.
That's a whole other podcast.
I know.
We'll talk
Well,
about that.
actually,
because
that's one of my practices. Is
awesome.
To
Yeah.
charge my water bottle.
Yes. Well, anytime, even when you're just drinking water,
Yeah.
you can ohm into your water. I have water bottles. Like there's a really pretty rosé wine bottle that has a rose on the bottom of the glass bottle.
Oh,
I don't know if you've ever
nice.
seen it.
No, I
And
haven't.
it's a smooth bottle that goes up with a nice neck. And I have a couple of those. And after we finish the wine, and the top of the bottle is a little glass. It's like a cork, but it's made out of glass. So it's really, really pretty.
Oh,
I'll
really
bring you
Lovely.
one. And then you get stickers. And so I have one that says love on one side and I have Om on the other side.
Oh, I
and
like
so
that.
I'm always putting love into that bottle of water. I have another one that has blue glass and I have the Yeti, a Yeti on it from Colorado.
So I have a
that's
question.
a little bit different energy, but it's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So what would you say to the doubters out there about the power of these things?
What would I say to them? I've been studying for such a long time, and I read a book by Lynn Grabhorn a while ago, and it was called "Excuse Me, Your Life Is Waiting." I read that book, and I read another book called Creative Visualization. And this was coming out of
Shakti Gawain?
Yes. Yeah. This was coming out of a time period in my life that was really, really bad. It was a low point for me. And I learned that with your mind, you most certainly can change your life.
Yes.
And so I started to put it into practice. And one of the first things that I started doing, because I was really, really at a bad place. I mean, I had no self-esteem. I had no confidence. I was really in a bad way. And so what I started to do was every morning I would spend the first 5 to 10 minutes before I even got out of bed, just telling myself something kind about myself.
So
I'm a sister, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm funny, I'm a good cook, I like to bake, I like to garden, and I would just go through every single thing that I can think of. And you try not to repeat.
right.
And then in the evening, and that's how I started to come back from the depression that I was in. And then in the evenings, I would think about my day and just kind of wrap up my day. How did I feel that I did? Was there something that I could have done differently or better? Was I living in line with how I wanted to present myself to the world?
Right.
And so it was a very interesting time because I started putting these ideas into practice. And I tell you, the 3 weeks after starting this, I had a huge $8,000 debt dismissed.
Wow.
And I went running into my mom, shaking the letter. Mom! It was my first, like, all you have to do is get through one thing to change.
Yes.
Just manifest one thing in your life.
Right.
And it starts to tip the tide, tip the
Right.
tides. But I know there's a lot of people out there that are doubters. And all I can say is if you look around at all of the people that are manifesting their lives, when you want to change your life, they always say surround yourself with people that are doing it.
Right.
If you want to gain more wealth, connect yourself with people that have wealth. Don't hang around with people who are broke.
Right.
Because you're not going to learn anything.
Right.
So the whole idea is to, learn from people who have done it or learn from people who know how to do it. So if somebody's really interested, they'll find a way. They'll find a way. I was at the bottom and I needed to crawl out of it. And so I
hear you.
I went to the bookstore and I came back with a stack of books and I started reading and, I turned my life around. I really did. And others can do it too. I mean, my house was in bankruptcy. I mean, I was, I was in a divorce. There was a custody battle. My kids, were not in my life anymore. It was a hard time for me.
Right.
And
I had my own dark night of the soul. I was like flat on my back. I really was on a walker. I could not walk with this terrible plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
I ended up gaining a lot of weight because I went from being very active to not.
Yep. Yeah.
And, and that is when, I started watching YouTube all the time.
Yeah.
And I was searching, like in the middle of the night, searching for a glimmer of hope, something out there.
Yes.
And I feel like, we have so much available to us now. I mean, so many ways that we can reach out and touch others' lives.
Yes.
And assist. And, hearing your story, it's like, I think that everybody, I mean, if you've lived a while, we've all had our dark night of the soul. We've all had those moments.
If you haven't, it's coming.
Where we really had to dig deep.
Right.
To pull ourselves up by the bootstraps.
Right.
So and that's what is so great when you have a talisman or something that it just reminds you of your intention. That it's like, yes, I can do this. Yes, there are powers that are out there that are ready to help me if I just ask.
Yeah.
And so part of it is asking.
Yeah.
Being bold and not being afraid to put it out there. This is what I want. This is I will have this. I'm going to.
And actually back in 2011, when I was going through that, I had gone through some treatment. And when you graduate from treatment, you get to pick a rock out of a jar.
Oh, okay.
And so I have a turquoise colored rock that's in a jar filled with other like river rocks.
Oh, okay.
So it just it stands out
a little sparkle,
because it's the little turquoise one amongst all these big river rocks in this glass jar.
Right.
And it's just a beautiful reminder. Like, you can't forget, that's the journey. That's where it started.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. It's
now
it's pretty amazing.
You wear a turquoise crown.
And now I'm making crowns. And now I'm making beautiful crowns for the queen in you. Every woman should have a crown. Even men. Every man should have a crown.
I agree. That is so beautiful. It's so perfect on you too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Oh,
yeah. This one, I really love this crown.
So we're going to be two queens.
This is the Arizona Princess.
Oh, I like that. And what's this one called?
That is the quartz. I think we just have it named Arrowhead Quartz Crown.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. It's a very popular one. We can never keep them in stock. As soon as we make them, they fly out because they're just beautiful.
I was tuning into you just the other day, and what made me think of you are these crowns. Because I was thinking, when you clear your space and you set intention with your space, because, our environment has such a strong effect on us. And, if we have like cycles of things that are like, we have to move around, we have to walk around, it's like obstacles that we're creating for ourselves in our space. And so feng shui is basically the art of placement. And, also with that, when I'm doing my Renew You cycle, my first, week is really about getting rid of the clutter and eliminating all that stuff out of my life. But also setting intentions, so when I'm cleaning, I'm like saying all the dust go, I say
with intention.
Yeah, with intention.
Yes.
I clear the cobwebs. I say, I don't need these anymore. These are old skin cells hanging around.
They've served their purpose, and now they can leave and serve. Exactly.
But you can clear your space with intention, and then
and that opens up to invite in for something new.
Exactly.
And anytime we clear out, we're opening up for something new to come in.
Absolutely.
Which is really great. Yeah.
And I thought, having dominion over our lives, it means like we conquer our stuff, right? We put ourselves over that. We have dominion over it. And in that way, we wear the crown. Wear the crown. We have dominion in our own space, in our own universe. And when we do that with intention, and then we say, okay, I am the queen of all that I survey.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to put on my crown. I'm going to put on. I'm going to put on my crown and clean house.
Right. And that one is a very good energizing crown.
Oh, is it?
Yep. Quartz is an amplifier, energy amplifier.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it. Mm-hmm. But I guess you really have to be careful not to put bad thoughts out there when you're wearing a crystal crown.
I don't believe that.
No,
I don't. I don't believe that crystals will bring negative, or I don't really believe that. I think, when they say, when you talk about like the devil or negative, or, someone putting a hex on you or something like that, I really believe that we are our own worst enemy.
Right.
So if somebody puts something out, an energy out, could they put an energy out towards me? Yes. But I don't need to pick that up.
Of course.
I can put a boundary up. I can stop that energy and leave it with that person, because I'll be a mirror, and that energy will bounce away from me and back on them. And that's what happens. So, if you come from your soul, and if you live from your soul, and you're a good person, and you're putting good out into the world,
right,
you're going to get good back. You're going to get good back tenfold. So I for those people who, really feel like, oh, somebody jinxed me or whatever, if somebody does attempt that and you buy into it, you're allowing that in. So it goes back to intention. It goes back to resetting your mind frame, checking in with yourself in the morning, and knowing who you are. When we try to change our world, we can't change our world by going out there and making, you have to start going inward.
Right.
It has to start from inside.
I agree.
If you want a better life, you have to be a better person. You have to start with yourself, in cleaning up your thoughts, and cleaning up your words, and cleaning up that saying, your thoughts become your words become your actions become your character, and your character becomes your destiny.
Yes.
And so it's like, if you're going to live a negative life, everything's going to be negative.
Right.
And when you're putting negative energy out, you're attracting negative energy back to you.
Right.
You're going to be mean to somebody, you're going to get into a car accident. But if you're always putting out good positive energy, you're going to get good positive energy back. I truly believe that.
I agree with that.
And I'm a living proof of that.
Yeah.
And the world's testing me. Like 5 years ago, some of the things I'm dealing with now, 5 years ago, I would have had a very different reaction. Probably not so kind. I probably, because somebody's not doing right by me. So I would, I would yell and scream and make change happen, but not, not in a way that's kind to other people. So I'm really focused on kindness and trying to, not that I'm perfect, everybody slips, right? But if something happens today, I try to take the stance that it's happening for me, not to me.
Right.
And so how do I go with the flow? And when you try to go with the flow, things change. Like this time around, I had an issue with a company recently, and it was upsetting because I wanted something to happen inside my house and it didn't happen. And instead of getting upset and yelling at everybody, I spoke to people. And I held the intention that this manager is doing their very best to help me accomplish what I need accomplished.
Right.
And so whenever I go back into that store, that manager knows me. He was very impressed. He's like, I've had 10 people come with the same issue and everyone's screaming. You're the first person that's being kind. And I said, well, I realize it doesn't do me any good to dump all over you.
Right.
So I'm, again, it's a test. But for the first time, I see it. I can see, I'm aware. I'm in the present moment and I'm seeing what's happening. And so I'm choosing, when we have something happen and you have a reaction, right? There's space that you can put there. So you can create more space to choose how you want to react. It's not easy. It doesn't always happen right away. It's a practice.
Yep.
But when you get it and you start practicing it and you're calm. You don't have to get emotional. You don't have to become the basket case or drive erratically because you're so emotional. It's almost like controlling that emotional body.
Right.
And just knowing that this happened for a reason. And so we're just gonna go with the flow as best you can.
Right.
And so, I've gone through the past month doing that with this situation, and I've made several friends out of it. So it's very interesting. It's an interesting.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I was, as you were talking, I was thinking that letting go of things more quickly. Like I used to get kind of, a little upset about something, and I couldn't let it go. I kept reliving it. And now, the wisdom as we age is hopefully we get better at going next.
Right.
Next,
And it's very easy to say that. But once the situation happens to you, that's when the test is, can you also do that?
Yeah.
So I know what you mean, though. Yeah. Years ago, I would have vented over something for a week to 2 weeks. Today, it might be 24 hours.
Right.
And I try to curb myself, keep myself contained, because sometimes we can really spin out of control. Sometimes you really have a passion for certain injustices in the world. And so, yeah, but yeah.
Also, I think that when you are intentionally feeding your mind what you want to create, when you are choosing consciously what you're going to think about, and you develop these practices, these things that help you stay on point with that.
Right.
It's like it crowds out all that other stuff that you would be,
Yes.
It's like you're filling more and more of your time with what you want to create. And so you're crowding out all that other potential.
Right. And purposely crowding it out.
Yeah.
And also knowing what your path is. A lot of times I'll say to myself, I'll come across a situation and I'll say, okay, I'm going to stay in my path and I'm going to let that person stay in their path.
Right.
Because the other, what is the saying? When the student is ready, the teacher will come.
Yes.
And I've learned over the years that is so true. If somebody is not ready to hear something, they're not going to hear it.
Or when the teacher is ready, the students appear because you are stepping in
I'm trying.
to your glory as the teacher mode. I love that. It's beautiful to witness.
Yeah, teaching is a passion of mine. I'm not a formal teacher, but I have taught classes at in CCD.
Well, you have gifts.
And I also taught classes up at William Patterson University.
Oh, wow.
In the medical billing field.
Okay.
And I'm always teaching. I'm always teaching cooking and gardening and crystals and healing, holistic healing. That's a big piece of my life too.
Absolutely.
I no longer do pharmaceuticals as much as possible.
Right.
Obviously there are times when you have to. But for example, if I feel like I'm coming down with something, a cold, I will do, I'll take a lot of garlic. I may not smell very good in a couple of days, but whatever is brewing inside, and usually 24 to 48 hours, and whatever you had going on is gone.
Right.
Garlic is a natural antibiotic.
Wow.
So, learning the holistic properties of herbs, of oils, of crystals, and then using those to keep you on the path that you want to go is really very interesting. So January's program of intention setting and how to keep your intentions throughout the year using the crystal energy magic and the cycles of the moon. So in January, we're going to be working with labradorite for the new moon to help set our intentions. And then we'll move on to carnelian at the first quarter, which is on January 6th. And then at the full moon on January 13th, we will work with the crystal selenite.
The full moon.
Right. So selenite is a cleanser. This is one of the crystals that you don't need to cleanse because it cleanses all the other crystals. So if you're setting this in a bowl with the others, it will always keep the others cleansed, which is that's a great benefit. And then on the 20th of January is the last quarter moon. And that one we're going to work with smoky quartz. And smoky quartz will help to release and reset. So it takes scattered energies and it will ground all the scattered energies and help you to reassess where you are and to reset your intentions. So that's really a great helpful crystal as well. And then in February, we are going to move on to relationships, working with relationships, self-care, relationships with loved ones, families, and friends. How do you handle that toxic friend that attacks you? What if you're the toxic friend? So I have crystals I have the crystals
Sometimes
to help
that
you.
happens.
That happens. So if you identify as the toxic friend, stay tuned in February for some information on which crystals to use and how to identify that you're the toxic friends and what you can do to help improve that part of yourself.
Growing our soul is what it.
Growing your soul.
Is what this is all about.
High five there. Growing your soul.
And sometimes, I had a situation happen not long ago where a friend that I hadn't seen in a while came down to visit me. And boy, I just let a part of myself come out that I hadn't seen in probably 15, 20 years. And I thought, what is going on with me? Mm-hmm. Sometimes those things come back around and you have to do another clearing, another level of choosing who you want to be, your character.
Life is like this. Mm-hmm. So you come around.
The spiral.
Right. It's not linear.
That's true. The spiral path.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right. So tell me about your program, because I am dying to join it.
Yeah?
Yep, I really am. Yep, from January 1st to Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so I'm starting the Fit to Be Festive challenges starting on January 1st and going until Valentine's Day. And then, I noticed that in my journey, I just so happened to start my first video. I did my first video on Mardi Gras. And I always do a cleanse for Lent season. And I was starting a juice cleanse at the time. And I said, it's Mardi Gras. I'm going to go out tonight and have whatever I want to eat because tomorrow I start my fast. And I knew that if I did a juice fast, I'd lose 40 pounds in 40 days. Well, I did not have another juice fast in me. So basically what happened was I said, well, I just put it on out there that I'm going to do this and I better deliver. So poor little Bocce got his eye done yesterday. He's feeling kind of needy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He needs some hugs.
Yeah. So I did that. And, it just so happened that I went from season to season, or not from season to season, but from holiday to holiday. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, well, that actually is very fitting because everybody wants to have a special occasion that they want to look good for. Or, if you get into a pattern and a rhythm of eating that, you can drop weight quickly, but then, you practice maintenance in between and you enjoy your life. You celebrate.
Yeah. And it breaks it down into smaller, more manageable time periods.
What ended up happening is, I started to live a celebration lifestyle.
Nice.
And it really works for me. It's a pattern and rhythm of eating and living my life that I've stumbled upon it, stumbling upon happiness, right? And I just want to share it with people because it really works. And it's a lot of fun because the thing that I do well, I mean, I struggle from time to time, but what I do well is staying motivated. So I've done all these like fun exercises to stay motivated. And I actually put one on my website, elanswildride.com. So please go on over there and click it and download your free copy of The Heart of Transformation. It's the inspiration, playful, fun exercise I do for my Valentine's Day Fit to Be Festive Challenge. And then I'll send you all the information for joining the challenge. And you'll be able to join that coming very soon.
I'm on board. I'm on board. You've been very motivating. I've been watching your all of your social media for the last year and a half, almost a year and a half since we met. And I'm just very inspired by you. Really, really inspired.
Well, we can all do for others what we can't do for ourselves.
Exactly.
Right? So if I feel like I'm doing it for a higher calling, then I can pull stuff out of myself that I wouldn't ever be able to do.
Yeah.
Some people do it for their family or their children. I don't have children. So, just doing it, knowing that, hey, maybe I'm that person that somebody will find at 3:00 in the morning when they are really struggling.
Right. And the thing.
And they're looking for that ray of sunshine.
The thing is that life keeps happening.
Yeah.
And so, something that I don't know if my daughter mentioned it to me or I heard it somewhere else, but the comfort food really isn't healthy.
Right.
And so we have, a girlfriend of mine, Connie. So we have to change our mindset because when you really think about taking care of yourself and giving yourself something that's comfort food, you want to put something in that is comforting, but also healthy.
Right.
So like I was telling you, I made the sweet potato and I added cocoa and maple syrup and you mix it all around and it's like eating a little chocolate pudding, but it's healthy. It's not chocolate ice cream, but it's really delicious.
Right.
So just trying to, get yourself organized and keep up with all of the changes. Like don't stray from life because life keeps happening. We had a COVID and then I fell and I injured my back and then, job issues and, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It's like waves on the beach and you just keep getting knocked down.
Well, I set an intention for Halloween and I got pretty close, but then I was going to set an intention for the new year and I had like 3 injuries. Bocce got injured and then that has been very stressful for me. But what's great about it, and this is the kind of stuff that I would have been derailed by before, and I really would have actively been gaining weight again.
Right.
From the stress.
Right, which is what happens.
Because I found this kind of pattern and way of eating that works for me, it's like I can color outside the lines a little bit.
Right.
And then I get back to it.
Right.
And as long as I stay within about a 5 to 6 pound range, don't go, either one way or the other.
Right.
I can live pretty comfortably at a given weight.
Well, I'm excited for your program. I'm really excited.
I'm glad.
Looking forward to it.
I'm good. Good. Well, so y'all come along for the ride and join us for the Fit to Be Festive Challenge and go and check out Crystals by the Sea with
intention setting and how to keep your intentions.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So let's sage some crystals.
Okay.
Let's sage some crystals. Okay. So I have white sage. I brought white sage with me today. So I'm just going to light it up. And one of the things that I love about white sage, Oh, you don't have a.
Just want to be sure that I don't want to.
I won't really set it ablaze. So what's interesting when you hold a crystal in the white smoke, you'll see, you'll just watch it and you can see how the smoke will, it'll circle.
Wrap around it.
Yeah, it wraps around it to cleanse it and then
Spiral around it.
Yeah, it spirals around it. You spend
really
enough
fun.
time doing this, then you really start to pay attention to what the smoke does. And it's almost like the smoke will spiral around it. And then when it's done, it goes in a different direction. And then that's it. That crystal's cleansed. So we'll move on to the next crystal and we'll just put this in the smoke and it does the same thing. So this is not lit very well. So let's move on. There's another way to cleanse your crystals.
Okay.
And that's with selenite. So in this packet, you have one selenite crystal, carnelian, smoky quartz, and labradorite. And so simply by having all of these with selenite, that's going to cleanse them. You can keep them together in a little bowl or something for 24 hours. And then another way that you can cleanse your crystals is to set them on top of a selenite bar. So not all bars are flat, but yeah. So if you have your crystals on a little selenite bar, you can keep them like that for 24 hours and that will cleanse them. You can also put them out in the moonlight, on a full moon. You can bury them in the dirt, or sometimes I'll put a little bowl on my desk and I'll put dirt in the bowl and I'll bury them in there because it's easier to find them. And I don't forget where they are. You can also put certain crystals in salt and water, but you need to know a little bit about, which crystals are best to go.
Well, this is fascinating to me because this just seems like the easiest and most direct path to clearing your crystals.
Yes.
And I never knew this before.
Yeah.
So
selenite also cleanses your chakras. So this is a really, really great, just when you're at home watching TV, just lay it on your chest and just hang out with it here.
Well, I think that I want to get one of these for doing my morning check-in, because I like to lay in bed in the morning and just kind of warm up my hands, tune in, and just kind of scan my body.
Yes, that's an
and just feel, because every day, when you're doing a new the 40-day processes that I do every day, my body feels different.
Yes.
I can feel inflammation leaving my body, whereas I might have been warm before from inflammation. My skin starts feeling cooler to the touch. The slope of my hip changes.
Right.
All these little little things change, and just taking the time to tune in and
know yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's important.
And having a profound inner experience.
Yes.
Because a lot of people never look within.
Yes.
Yeah. Taking that time out from the regular life to really, give yourself that gift of this period of time where I'm really going to focus on myself. I'm going to mind my soul.
Right.
I'm going to check in with my body, listen to my body's wisdom. Make friends with the skin that we're in, right?
Yes, exactly.
And that was a big pivotal moment for me when I had that awareness. It was kind of an aha.
Yeah, that you have to kind of go from the monkey mind. You have to learn to, if you quiet your mind or you just kind of let those thoughts float by. I don't know if we can ever stop them, but you can stop giving them your attention.
Right.
Which in essence quiets your mind. And so it opens up this whole other world of being inside your own head. It's amazing. You go inside and you're in a galaxy. It's really
I love that.
when you get further along in your meditation, that's what it feels like. It feels like you're in a galaxy.
Well, you have so much to offer, and you are well versed in so many topics. So we're going to have to get together on a regular basis and do this.
Yes, I would love that. I would really love that.
So keep on following, you guys. And hey, if you haven't before, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up.